Hello, my name is Anthony Wall. I caught one of the proven child abusers a few years ago with Wethersfield Schools. They made up a whole bunch of things. Some of the family members, with some of the parents who had roles with that, including people that work for New Britain Superior Court, families of Hartford courts, and Middletown. They have and people associated with prisons tied to them, kids' prisons and stuff like that. They've been planting evidences with kids in their family through other people's kids. So that principal child abuser involved with some prosecutor. There's a Brian Silver. I never had a conversation in my life. He's tied with two people named Brent and Leahy. Well, the whole Leahy family works with Hartford Hospital. Is pretending they had conversations with me. I never had a conversation. One of them I had one word with, sarcastic. And the rest, they had a whole fake conversation with me with quotes. I can't get a response from them. And so, Anthony over Facebook, recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed. He's involved with two Mendez police brothers are also involved with Wethersfield Police Department, fabricating, switching them. Then they don't give you any writing to respond to. They attach confessions to the one they give you, and so I need something to respond to. Still, your connection is unstable. There are proofs that they mess with people's. They messed with my Facebook page in the past, wherein they have that. Where and how they have that. Also, the Facebook page of the principal sex offenders campus, the principal child abuser, because he was involved with others with juxtaposed distinct natures of organized crime and of child abuse. Now, they tell people online, take your meds. I don't take any meds. These are people putting fake things into the databases. And because when they lock you in the place for mental evaluation, too, no one's watching those databases. So there's a Judge Killian who also spoke fake things into records. I also saw him on television in a program. He's got family members that live next to him. I don't know whether they live in Hartford and something like that. But with a whole bunch of people, there's a Mark Violet, also with Hartford Hospital, that is involved with drugs and medicines crimes with the child sex offenders and uses of the juxtaposed natures of organized crime. These are also people involved criminally with the World Trade Center. There was a Dan Key I never had a conversation with in my life, and his know her name, but neighbors of hers involved her in this. In the Wethersfield police, I can't get a response. I asked her, she won't get me any response. They have an insidious little thing with the kids too, with the Keene Center, where you have to make a timed, you have to make a reserved spot with the thing. In other words, they're making people speak with others as the people that they're going to attach to fake conversations with them. I know this because they do it when you don't speak with them. And XCM Faglione is also with others with some state police in Massachusetts, and there are co-defendants of former director of the FBI in his defendant capacities. Robert Luskin, former standing chairperson on Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act. He's also involved with people that went to my high school and other schools I went to that I didn't have classes at all. And people I had classes with, I never had communications with them. They were pretending other online with Facebook because of the crime methods used by the various natures of courts and police forms. It's evidence how these are sick fakes with Central Connecticut State University too. Get them on paper. It's not the campus's fault. It doesn't speak. They're putting fake things in the databases. So people from Wethersfield recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed roles on all sides of that campus, planting evidences. Also, a Kyle Gill, his mother, his sister, other family members, people associated with them, recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed, sought me out. They're also involved on off Trinity College and the spots next to it. At the time, they have roles with various natures of shootings and beatings that took place off campus and on campus, and an untimely death on the campus of Trinity that is also associated with people they affected that evolved with that in Hartford, who were then timed as the ones timed on my street made confessions to me, like with a Rob Rodriguez, who's involved with some logistics places and with shopping centers, like one with there's a in Rocky Hill that is involved with them with identity theft frauds with the families that work for the Wethersfield Police. They answer phones for them through time, like a Smith family involved with the untimely deaths and their roles with Afghanistan families and leaderships of Afghanistan for decades, as there with names around Wethersfield town offices that are further involved with election crime methods that has the entertained and worse, or they make up things about you. So it is evidence where and how they can and speak for black and white without expressing physical delusions, criminally foreign influence, fact-cheating nature, qualities, aspects, and nature. So they have a lot of enemies, the people that work at Hartford Hospital and other hospitals, because they've been putting fake things in databases. They've been pretending it's for other reasons. So these have various courts speaking fake and little things into like sick fake punks at the last second into databases. People come means and preventing writing criminally. So you have to stop. You have to allow demonstrated the even female judges are involved then and now with the principal sex offenders campus. There's a Bob Chase who confessed that a Phil Collo was involved with a police report he was supposed to read to me. He did not read it. When they arrested me for reporting things and made up all these things so I wouldn't be able to tell on what I caught them doing with the principal child abusers campus. And they hid a whole bunch of confessions made to me over and others over answer machine, even left answer machine messages. To hide that, they pretended I sent emails with WTNH. WFSB attached me with a fake conversations with their Roger Suzanne. Look into the eyes of Roger Suzanne and know how he looks similar to a reporter on Fox Connecticut News, because the locations next to Fox Connecticut News have a Mike Pence and others who made exceptions to pretend to be out of the way to the people that had done that. They look like I know those people, and they he did confessions about their roles. One thing they have tied are people along spots next to the campuses where they're involved with identity theft frauds, falsified police reports, but also all along Route 3, which goes by the state judicial branch offices. There are houses and businesses next to it. Wethersfield Pizza and Wire, Wethersfield Police. A Stephen Stocco sought me out to confess that. I never had a conversation in my life. I called on the phone there one time and asked, is Maria there? Never had a conversation with him before that. He also recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed one of the ones with foreign and domestic families and military and overt criminal enterprises on and off Central Connecticut State University. And as people involved with the names near me, with the Wethersfield police forms and the state police families and military police that have been switching and forging names. There's an MPO Floyd, and there's a Justin Klovinskis. I don't know his brother's name, but him, and they said Greg Monday. I never met Greg Monday in my life. But these are houses, and they live next to a school. I believe it's Gooseberry Hill. I don't know where Greg Monday, if he lives there, but there's a Gooseberry Hill, and there are houses near there associated with Justin Klovinskis and his brother, who are also one of the names involved with questions tied to abuses of the daughter of a post office guy. I can't believe he's not even living, but associated with houses at the corner of Fairlane Drive and Griswold Street have something to do with Eric Klotz, and other people that brought up those houses. Those houses, and so I don't know Eric's brother's name. I don't know his sister's name. His sister's name was top, and she's Asian or whatever like that. And that's all because he's involved with some KKK and some black white things. Military police switching names too. The fake interbranch. So they replaced they all of a sudden that when you have FBI enemies, your whole emails wipe away. There's an officer Poison who I had communications with. His delusions wrought. He would not allow me to speak. Kept asking stupid questions. Then he ended the conversation. And now those emails have disappeared because he was one of the ones that forced the principal child abuser with that. You have some sick fake. Watch when we see what he looks like. He's going to look like a creep. I'll show you in his soul because that's recorded with these men and women with sex offenders. See, the women have been getting away with it so long because they're pretending they're just sticking up for people's jobs. They don't care about people. If they cared about people, if they cared about honesty, that their delusions and their criminal foreign influence, fact-keeping nature, qualities, aspects, and nature would be revealed with the real answers to what American history is about. American history, for example, is about that criminal insidiousness delivery system method that was upheld by the witch trials, the natured courts. You know, sicker than that, you're involved with slavery. But that was instituted here, but since before our founders were even born, as part of the breaching method against everyone sickly distinctly, so they could measure and sense if anyone's going to go against how sickly not, or discern how sickly non-distinctly. They start doing that, they're going to be sensed before they ever figure out how sickly non-distinctly properly. That's how we have little fake. They look like broken grammar school, bunch of little punks when they speak against each other, the Republicans and Democrats, and what they call their representatives as news. So no one has one sane location to be able to call in to report things. And so they have wire crime acts and methods with the child abuses involved with it. Now there's a Leahy family of doctors that is involved personally with various people in the Britain Superior Court and other courts, with the judges and prosecutors personally involved with them sickly criminally with the kids and with their physical delusions. And as doctors supposed to be of psychology. There's also a nurse who's tied to them criminally involved. There's a nurse named Britt who's involved with the DeSimone family. Per him, I don't know. He made a statement to me, but when that's what they do too. They make statements and confessions to you when you're going to come around corners. That's one of the things that connect the people too, that are involved with uses of the Keene family, remotely, criminally foreign influence, delusions, leading up to the World Trade Center attack in that context and sense. And those are my only. Those are people I'm on the side of. See, they're keeping them on side of the attackers because the investigations, first responders, they had roles. They've been leading up to the World Trade Center attack. The World Trade Center was involved with a bunch of sick fakes. World Trade. You know, they have a whole bunch of private natures of slavery. That can't be entertained in the Constitution to communicate that right through our campuses, not by accident. You have sick fake punks pretending to perceive that our founders had something to do with slavery. The only reason they get away with it is because they want to explain some trend that they left us. They left us to explain slavery is entrenched North and South colonies before they were even born. They had to counter-extort our other founders and everyone else to help. George Washington had to come to Wethersfield, Connecticut, right before the battle of the Revolutionary War and counter-extort slavery entrenched North and South, and here in Wethersfield, Connecticut. Now, the locations right at that place and locations next to it have a whole bunch of names through time who also approached me dishonestly And that was as relevant because those are people that involved with the cliques, involved with, and how they get trying to be involved with counters to things that happen to them, is also evidence. So there was also a Dillon family. There's an Anna Dillon and Annie Dillon, how she switches that, and a Kevin Dillon, who's also one of the ones on my street involved with violence, involved with falsified police reports, wire crimes, and confessions tied to him in demonstrations. Now, make sure he didn't pretend that I ever had a word of conversation with him. Now, there are two Mendez police that also pretended I had conversation with them, like the older one. I never had a word of conversation with him in my life. He pretended other, as one of the people that were replacing the, I still didn't get a police report to respond to because it's other than what Bob Chase said was on the police report. He was supposed to read it to me, didn't read it to me, made up his reasons why, and with physical delusions. Bob Chase is one of the guys with the principal sex offender for his role speaking his physical delusions, lies, and fake motivations to records while they are preventing other people from all substantial that appear to be a demonstration or other are really in demonstration the same thing. So I don't have a phone or I'd call the police again. But the police have not responded to me. They have not given me a police report for years now. And they do this because when people report specific acts, a whole bunch of strangers and weirdos, they come online and they say, "Oh, take your meds," and they prevent people from getting a response. Oh, you don't even make sense. You know what the fuck that means? Excuse my language. You know what that means? The police switch their names. I don't even say they attach me to too many fake words. I'm an expert on the nature of English grammar. I know how to make a form of proper sentence. They don't even perform proper sentences. They're knocking off people's grammar. They're just trying to get people mad, and then they can't speak for emotions honestly either. Our stewards, and your state stewards. J.K. Romulus, your microphone keeps clipping out. We can't hear a word you're saying. There's a Justin Klavinskis, for example. I don't know his brother's name, but on Gooseberry Hill. And there's a campus next to it, which is one of the campuses that was brought up by there are Middletown courts, there's New Britain court, and there are Hartford courts. Further confessed, recorded, demonstrated, criminally involved with more campuses, and with the houses next to the campuses, further with the principal sex offenders campus. If you know the I don't know. People putting all these fake Facebook and YouTube pages, whoever typed that there, because we're going to have to get them onto paper. These are also people with Central Connecticut State University. They hid such and worse from the vice president. Now they said they also must have foreign and domestic training through the apartments next to the places. These are Central Connecticut State University has roles with criminal justice programs where the people who run the prisons also have crimes with their patients and criminals before they get caught. And with foreign and domestic, and with areas of overt criminal enterprises and private ones. And Mark Violet, who I don't know, went out of his way to record, confess, demonstrate, confirm to me that Justin Klavinskis I never tried to contact Justin Klavinskis in my life, and I don't know his brother's name. But these are people involved with my area for the time, with drug dealing, and with the military foreign and domestic, planting evidences with Wethersfield Police. Ron Adams. Hello. So, Wethersfield students, make sure I get a response from a police officer around here. Watch I'll show you what little fake punks they are. How they get away with pretending, how they even look in the mirror at themselves. Wait till you see I don't know what he looks like yet. There's an officer poisoning. He's one of the ones involved with digital crimes, with some digital crimes, digital upskirt pictures, more with the principal upskirt picture campus, the principal sex offenders campus. I caught with other natures of child abuses. There are also more since then, though. After that, there are people with involved with Ian, who reportedly lives on Fox Hill, has family there. And there are people that live on the other street, on the other side of him, that have been through time. Also, a former Mayor Gold and his daughter and her son. I had nothing to. I don't know them. They tried to make fake exceptions when I was a kid, but they planted sequence shifts, running, yelling at me out of nowhere, and then as a trick to make it look in the database that I had done something first. They have little federal crimes with kids that way. Now, this Leahy family also had with the principal sex offenders campus with their kids, and Facebook too. There are more digital rules with pictures of the kids. They even have a little girl in a Leahy family involved with more of the pictures of the kids used criminally. So make sure I get a response from the school because I haven't responded yet, and that principal's in jail or whatever. I don't respond to that school already. They fabricated audio and video transcripts too to replace what's actually recorded online and stuff like that. So make sure, kids, they switch principals around too. I don't know. I never met I believe it's a Christine O'Connor. I don't know if her father was Mr. O'Connor used to teach at Wethersfield High School. But there are people also with associated with a softball team. And with a track team, like with Eric Klotz and his family members are involved with Wethersfield campuses, and one's in New York and one's in Central Connecticut State University in New Britain, involved with predicate acts with the Wethersfield police, foreign and domestic military. Now there are Marines involved with this. There are further news media attached. Roger Suzanne attached me a fake conversation with him. That forced the principal child abuser. Why is that flashing thing come on there? That's what happens when you try to stay on the thing. They try to bring up other subjects. So Vice President Kamala Harris went to Central Connecticut State University. They have recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed some criminally foreign influenced military families with foreign families involved with the apartment buildings on all sides of that, and like Normandy Heights, in West Hartford, next to the West Farms Mall. There was a woman with the name O'Neill who teaches at West Hartford Schools, but her daughter went to the principal child abuser school or still goes there. And there is Wethersfield police officer with the name O'Neill criminally involved with that. So you have a lot of sick fake punks who want to pretend they're legitimate men and women, but they can't speak as legitimate men and women. They can't even, So they switch names too. Wethersfield police have been switching names. They did that interbranch too. There's a Courtney. She switched her names with another one, and so they keep telling us to wait and listen to what they say. I did that. Other people did that. Then they attached us all to fake words. They hid what they said because they made confessions. They even switched arresting officers' names with one that wasn't even present, involved with a whole bunch of falsified police reports, but none of them that could be responded to, because then it leaves out the others in the other narratives that were involved with the falsified police reports for the same arrest, but that came up first. So I want all those. We need all those. I'll show you how to get rid of the child abuser. Make sure I get a response from the campus. And we're not going to be speaking as a group. They want people to speak for a group because they already attached me and other people around me to fake words and fake. Even WFSB did that. They attached my mother to fake speaking about legal cases. They lied about the outcome of legal cases, about one that was ongoing at the time of my father's death, who was also the people involved with the school that asked me to fake words. They were involved with the various natures of federal criminals, And a defendant in that case was former director of the FBI, former standing chairperson on Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. Three of his co-defendants are three distinct natures of distinct federal criminals who are also involved criminally with the kids I went to before that was found out when I was a kid. They were spreading lies also at corners of buildings. Then they walk away before you could tell your answer. They pretend they don't believe, pretend passion as strangers who knew where I was going to be before I was. Now, these are the people also on and off Trinity College involved with an untimely death. And with a Dean Alford who switched and forged names with a Joshua Straker. Straker is another punk who has been out of class in my grade. He's also been stacking evidences with names that recorded that demonstrated him involved with them on off the state judicial branch offices, on off the campuses. There are people with local 230 and as the co-defendants of former director of the FBI criminally involved with this Joshua Stryker too. So they have all kinds of roles with locations next to Trinity College through time too. Joe Aiello said it's he demonstrated, confessed. He brought the boxing gyms, leaders in the background. People from my town were telling them lies about me to pretend fake ties to me, fake natures to me. One time we stopped. I stopped. My neighbor had me go, and we stopped after he graduated. No, I never knew he hung around with Joel. We stopped at Joel's house for 1 minute, literally a minute. It was like just crazy. We're looking at each other, and then we left. And there was Joe DeMoro there, and I never tried to contact. I never had anything to do with Joe DeMoro. All except that appeared to be a demonstration, same thing. In other words, these are people. He's involved with the principal child, with the people on the sex offense registry, with the police forms criminally involved, and with the co-defendants of former director of the FBI, and with rape confessions and stuff like that. With the people that were involved with real estate transactions on my street with this Dylan guy. So they've been planting evidences on all sides of my house since before the new neighbors moved in on both sides of me, and now they involve them with that, and that's recorded. So they need to get away with this by preventing people from speaking, and by forcing people to get arrested by their roles and motivations for their roles per what really goes down at locations. There were reported 30 people shot in Hartford this year already. There are only 300 days in a year. You have a problem when you have these sick fake punks preventing, with the news, offensively preventing mandated law while they're pretending other. So make sure that WFSB, you fix the fake news and you stop dealing with the campuses anymore. You went there. You've been dealing with fourth graders for a long time criminally, and with each age. See, each age this is a rat trap game. I caught them with. In other words, I caught them using nature because they're using being and have been used for an influence. Need to hide that by preventing law offensively. So make sure you get them onto paper. And make sure you get the chance to respond to me, because these are little trick, fake punk games where they attach everyone to fake words about legal cases. In other words, and other than was proven in cases and other than was pleaded in cases. That's what their motivations were. How I know that, in other words, I'm not going to even talk about that because they already pretend I had conversations with people about it to keep it simple. And so I have to lie. I'm not going to I'm going to keep it clean like that. In other words, they attach me and they attach little kids and adults and everyone to fake conversations with the people around them. The news media did this too. So you're going to give me a calm means to defend myself. And you're going to respond for when I wasn't calm too, because I caught them both ways. I caught them both ways. Preventing mandated law. Hey! Make sure you get them to respond for my behavior, because these motherfuckers have been fabricating behavior with child offenders. And they know what the fuck that means. So you have a whole bunch of people that come online and say, oh, take your meds, take your meds. They don't, with fake accounts. And they use names like with ones involved. There's some weirdos on Morgan Circle. I don't know if that's the name of the street. Involved with the corner of, now, but they're involved with the corner of, their house is near the corner of Route 3 and Morgan Circle, who's involved with some people with the fire departments and with the police forms criminally involved. And these are people that are involved with the kids that they brought up, threats against, credible threats. Now, there are more guns and bug spray and rolls with fire departments with crimes with smoke with my chimney as the people involved with the planting evidences on both sides of my house, all sides of my house. Diagonally behind me, there's a Jamie Smith and a David Smith, who's involved with their mother, with some men associated with their mother, with foreign and domestic, even Afghanistan, involved with drugs and medicine, with the father, the Wethersfield Schools, and with some untimely deaths, and with identity thefts and frauds against me. Now, these are also people that work for Stop and Shop through time and the unions. But it has something to do. Maybe that's some kind of they have all kinds of police forms and foreign domestic ties to it, and it's got all kinds of Central Connecticut State University, and they brought up the mobile bag gas station confessions to me with the pattern of kids who I kept trying to ignore and leave out. Where I explain about how which since before when I was in second grade. Explain how we discern how we are not free, because these are not our human beings. Is standing in New York City, Hartford, Connecticut is not free. The suburbs where our founders were even born to cause negative value nature progressions, acts and natures, and to cause positive value nature progressions, only criminal insidiousness. So they put a whole bunch of criminal insidiousness, positive and negative treatments and identity treatment styles of logic and natures in collusion with each other. And then they sustain that. So they have a whole bunch of sick fakes who are pretending other. Then in other words, they call you names too. And then they pretend you're calling them names. And they prevent you from calm means to speak regular. See, that's part of the sequence shifts. That when they refer to a president and other people attacking others, they're leaving out what came first. They're sequence shifting. These are people that planted post-dated documents from inside the Ninth Circuit Court next to the World Trade Center right before the attack, insidiously, so the judges could rule that it was post-dated. After the World Trade Center attack, the 2006 District Court part of the case. The FBI, Robert Luskin, in his defending capacity, with various natures of courts personally criminally involved with him leading up to that and since, as the other police forms. Now, these are also people with forensics locations through time. There's a Joshua Julian is one of the ones on Facebook pages. They've been using the Facebook pages of the courts and of the campuses, and they've been lying about their responses about their opinions of behavior of people on there. The drugs and medicines crimes of this Judge Killian, also his physical delusions, also with Judge Smith and there's a Jennifer Smith. I don't know. I never had a conversation in my life. A Ray Colol, years after she was already recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed by others, brought her into this. A Christopher Cullen, a Jennifer Smith, These are people involved with the intelligence community, with judges, courts, judges, and stuff like that, with federal crimes and databases at kids' campuses, lying about their motivations. Little fake net rap mobs. These are people next to the Cove Park in Wethersfield through time. It's another one. And Nicola Jet, I do not know you. I don't know your brother's name. You have the Eric Jensen. He made confessions about you and some girl on Hang Dog Lane, and he tried to make it look like I know her, Jennifer. Well, I don't know her last name. Her neighbors are also involved with this former Mayor Gold, and with the people on my street further involved with the kids criminally and the police of the school. So more principals made confessions to me about that. They're scared to challenge these police forms with the schools. Hey, I'll do it for you. Make sure I get a motherfucking name. Excuse my language. Make sure I get on fucking paper. You don't fucking hide these threats on the kids. There are more credible drug and gun threats and rape threats that are involved with the names with the schools and against the kids. Now, the Leahy family also made a threat to me. They have their kids involved with this, with them attaching fake conversations to people. You get these motherfuckers on paper. I'm going to show you too. There's also a Christine. Make sure you can't even make sure you get a response too for they used the name Christine. Some of the people with the forensics locations in Middletown, who they used the name Christine. There's a Christine Bedard, and I don't know her new name, but with the New Britain's court. But there are other Christines involved too. And so they used they're playing these games. Someone over the phone said, "Don't use the name Kalal." What are you talking about? Don't use the name Kalal. You brought it up. Put it on paper now. Make sure I get the fucking paper. I don't have time for this shit. I have to fucking make a living, motherfuckers. And you owe me fucking money now for this time, motherfuckers. Make sure I get a fucking response, a name on fucking paper. And who fucking denied anything I said, motherfucker. You make sure I get a fucking response for the confessions of that principal sex offender over the phone. And why the fuck they fabricated emails with these motherfuckers. And then the other emails that I did have with a Officer Poison, you watch the sick fake punk when I fucking find out what he looks like. I can guarantee he looks like a degenerate punk like the rest of the motherfuckers with the fucking child offenders. I couldn't believe a motherfuckers would force this. It also has something to do with religious locations through time, places involved with that, as reported. Now, that's one of the places next to Fox Connecticut News, which is Fox Connecticut News is their location. The locations next to them involve fabricating information and stories, pretending passions and emotions. No, not because they're caring about what their viewers think, not for legitimate means and needs. Now, so there's also these are also people with body dumping spots that got brought up. They have crimes with their patients and criminals before they get caught, like the principal sex offender, like a serial killer. The body dumping spot of Billy Grosso was also brought up by all these confessions and tied to a Dillon family, that a Fienza family, and others made up also brought up their roles with the spots at the Cove. So we have some sick fake judges and their family members. Make sure that ends, and I get a response on paper fast. Make sure you get off campus too. Make sure you don't fucking have these motherfuckers pretending to fucking they're my friends with this Justin Klavinskis too. Motherfucker on Facebook planting evidences with the police form switching names. You got little fucking rap mobs that grew up telling lies to their girlfriend, now his wife. Now she's gonna pretend she knows me. You better tell fucking Lucinda that you're a fucking sick motherfucker. You're a fake motherfucker. Because I'll show her you're a fake motherfucker. And what are you doing with the girl? Who's that girl brought your name up to me? I don't know if it was Food Mart at the time or Stop Shop. But we're gonna deal with this. You're gonna get the fuck on paper with the Wethersfield police chief. Cynthia, motherfucker. Get the fuck on paper, you coward motherfucker. Fucking extended family member involved in this. What the fuck you doing with school? Who's the fucking judge who fucking brought that up? Someone brought that up, Webb School. How the fuck did you get that in there, motherfuckers? Because that's next to that fucking Gooseberry Hill. I'm going to show you how to fucking handle these fucking child abusers. And you're going to get me the fucking, you're going to give me a peaceful means to fucking respond to you motherfuckers. Get the fuck on paper and fear God for fucking what the fuck you're going to fucking make. Don't try to make fucking mistake excuses in the background. You get the fuck on paper and you fucking say sorry to the military for fucking pretending, for being a fake. You grew up a little fake. That's what they do. They have while people spread rumors with the fucking military. You motherfucking little cowards. You got a little fucking, you start fights with little fucking runts, little fucking creepy fucking military police families, you little rat mob for fucking rats. They want to be called rats because they're fucking fake too. It makes it sound like the person did something wrong. You make sure, Wethersfield kids, make sure you get a fucking get a person to respond to me here. And I want a response for what the fucking judges' names are. I want a response for what the fuck I didn't get anything to respond to on paper yet. And why all exceptions are a demonstration of the same thing. I'm not playing with their fucking little game. Help them with their live progression. Now, we have Wethersfield town offices in the community center and houses next to it. Through time are also recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed, criminally involved. Somebody but Jerry too. Don't pretend I had a fucking conversation with you, motherfucker, too. You motherfucker, if you're one of the ones in the background, because you got your kids involved with it, because you fucking came up and pretend to know me as a kid. Don't fucking pretend those fucking exceptions. You know me, or I fucking responded to you, motherfucker. You fake motherfucker. You a little fucking. I'm not sure how we're fake motherfuckers. Why? Because they're being directed to how to get away with it. I'm gonna show you where's this fucking Dylan guy? Where's this fucking Dylan? Don't fucking sell that house without telling telling the people too. With Spotted family, make sure I get the name of the fucking judges in the Delafair family and your other fucking boyfriends, fucking punk motherfuckers. Ray Claw too, the fucking game he played with your name, asking me fucking number of times if I messed around with you or slept with you. Why the fuck did he keep asking me so many times in a row? You motherfuckers. I didn't. Now I'm going to show you what the fuck with your name. I want your neighbors' names too, because your neighbors are involved with this too. I don't know their fucking names, but the ones tied to this Phil Claw. Let's get the fuck going and make sure your fucking mother is not spotted. Make sure your mother is not still working on the campuses, or get the fuck response if she is working on the campuses. But otherwise, make sure the fuck you get off the fucking campuses and don't pretend you ever fucking knew me. And make sure you fucking keep it real with the fucking exceptions. And what the fuck? Why did Chris Walters with you bring up the corner of Knott Street and Walker Hill where there's a fucking problem, you motherfuckers? Excuse me. I'm not speaking to you little girls like that, but I'm speaking to the motherfuckers who come on here. Motherfuckers who have been preventing me writing for years. Since I was a kid, I couldn't get anything. I couldn't get a response. They've been putting falsified police reports with some fucking criminally foreign motherfucking influence, fake motherfuckers who time where you're going to be, and they all act. Oh, we did our act, and then they fucking go back. Get the fuck down. Also, the corner of the people that work with the mobile gas station on the corner of South Dean and Turot and Town Line Drive, and that business next to it, I don't know if it's still called Through Time. They've been involved. There's a Dominic. I don't know his last name. Dominic Abate. Dominic Abate. He's involved with identity thefts and frauds of people with the police forms and the foreign and domestic there. Those are also the ones with overt criminal enterprises and with private ones. And then with all these ties to a former mayor, Gold, who's further involved with planting evidences on parks and shit like that. Joe Aiello was like that with them. It acts way more than fake news. And that's way more than one piece of evidence, fake news. They go, this prison used no evidence. Fix the fucking fake news. Fix the motherfucking fake conversations with people and about the World Trade Center attack. That's how fucking brazen they are. That's how fucking in trouble they are. They had conversations with me and others who were in that context right before the World Trade Center attack. And then we came home and we see on the TV that it was attacked. They attached me and others fake conversations about that as rules with the fucking planting evidences inside the Ninth Circuit Court right before those towers, right next to those towers before they were taken out. Now, these are people also that were brought up when I was a kid by the people they've been pretending that I was friends with. Joe DeMora will tell you, his cousins will tell you, I've never been friends with them. The recorded confessed demonstrated from people in my grammar school. They've been involved with Central Connecticut State University, intelligence community, foreign and domestic families, criminally through time. Before societies to entertain roles with them with federal crimes with evidences before the World Trade Center attack in that context and since. However, courts affect and the FBI director and his co-defendants affect confessions to me from the people, from families in the courts. Then they didn't think I tried to report that. I recorded myself trying to report it. Then they tried to hide, pretend that they're after. I caught them before Eric Burge's and Dean Just's family were involved in Amy/Emily, or whatever her name is, Hartford Court. The Hartford Court's criminally involved with the former director deposition, and his federal criminal co-defendants of his and their families have been stacking all kinds of, illusions on campuses, off campuses, as federal rules of evidence crimes. So make sure you fix the news. News also therefore had roles with elections crimes, and way worse. They have roles with cover-ups of Trade Center attack evidence, worse than obstruction of justice, and as predicate to pull it off. Make sure I get a response. WFSB, fix the fake news and report that and say sorry, and tell the kids, and don't go back into to the schools anymore. No, make sure I get a fucking that you say sorry to the kids with that Roger Suzanne, and let's go. Let's get them on paper. Suzanne, get on paper now. Conversation me, you fake punk. You look like a little sex offender. No one, child offender. It is sexual too now. There are more obscure pictures. There are more people with a Leahy family who have their daughters involved with child sex offenders. Make sure I get their fucking paper on paper too. Make sure Wethersfield Schools, your response for these two people with the name Brendan Leahy. There's women in their family also, but attaching me to fake conversation with them and stuff like that. You make sure I get a fucking response to me too. They attach my family members to fake conversations with them and lies about legal cases. They have crimes with federal criminals in those cases. That's why they've been using those locations and using little tricks to hide things, putting fake evidences, even with the news media. They've been having the wrong outcome in cases since founding. That's why there's problems in New York City. That's why 30 people reported shot in Hartford this year already. Get the fuck down. I'll show you how fucking fake motherfuckers, how to clean it up real fast.